So we're finally here. I have my hands on a copy of NHL 26. I want to give a big shout out to EA for giving me early access. Now, when it comes to the first team I'm going to be rebuilding on NHL 26, I feel like it only makes sense for me to go with the Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard, who's currently sitting at 88 overall with medium franchise potential. He's entering season number 3. He's looking for a contract extension. The Chicago Blackhawks are trying to build this franchise around him, and so far they're doing a pretty poor job at that. This team didn't really bring in anything over the offseason. Connor Bedard still doesn't have a lot of support here. There's a handful of young guys on the team, but this team's not looking that great. However, things are going to change over the next 5 years, because over the next 5 years, I'm taking over this franchise, and I'm going to turn them into an absolute super team. We're going to win a couple Stanley Cups with the Chicago Blackhawks. This team's going to be looking elite in just a matter of minutes. But as I just said, Connor Bedard's currently looking for an extension, so that's the first thing we're going to do here. Connor Bedard, you're going to get your extension. How much are you looking for? 9.7 million. We can make that work. Now, as I just mentioned, I literally just got my hands on NHL 26, so I have no clue what the changes to franchise mode are. I'm assuming there's been a handful of quality of life changes. The X factors are different, so I guess we're going to see how that affects the simulation. But before we see how the simulation works, Connor Bedard, here's 9.3 million for the next 6 seasons. You're going to be sticking around with us. Now, when it comes to everyone else on the team, I don't think we're going to be handing out that much money unless the legend and Andre Burakovsky wants to return to this team in the future. That was really the big move that Chicago made over the offseason, bringing in Andre Burakovsky. He's going to be a difference maker alongside Bedard. I guess we also can give Spencer Knight an extension here. And how much is he looking for? 7.1 million. I'm not going to lie, that's a little bit much. Now, I guess we should take a quick look at players' trade values, see if that's really changed at all. It doesn't look like it. A lot of this looks pretty similar. I have all these notifications telling me how to work franchise mode. Buddy, I'm an expert in franchise mode. I know a thing or two about a thing or two. But I wouldn't say there's anything crazy when it comes to trade values or anything. This looks pretty normal to NHL 25. And then when it comes to draft picks, that's looking pretty similar as well. The one thing I'm very curious on that I haven't looked at quite yet is I want to go look at the draft class. Now, as we all know, this is the Gavin McKinnon draft. And as we all know, Gavin McKinnon has now joined Penn State, so he is no longer in the CHL. And that makes me assume that EA doesn't have his rights and he's not going to be in the upcoming draft, and that is the case here. Gavin McKinnon is not going to be available in the entry-level draft for 2026, or at least he's not going to be available right now. I have no clue if EA is going to be able to negotiate his rights in the future. Like, getting the rights to every player in the college would be incredibly difficult. However, I do think it's going to be possible in the future. They're going to be able to negotiate rights with certain players. I have no clue whether or not that's going to be happening for NHL 26. I'm going to assume not, but you know what? Crazier things have happened. So we know what the Chicago Blackhawks are looking like. We know what the draft's looking like, but how about we make some trades? Also, because it is the first video of NHL 26, I just want to point this out. EA, please stop disrespecting my man Robert Thomas. Make him a 90 overall. If you're going to make Nick Suzuki a 90 overall, make Robert Thomas a 90 overall. I feel like both of those players should have the exact same overall. I have no clue why they don't have the exact same overall. Put respect on Robert Thomas's name, make him a 90 overall. But with those Robert Thomas comments out of the way, let's finally go make some deals here. And the first trade is going to be looking something like this. Teuvo Teravainen and a 7th round pick is going to be sent over to the St. Louis Blues. Jake Neighbors, welcome to the team. I'm going to play you on the top line alongside Bedard. Give him a little bit more support because bro needs help here. Just give him some young, talented players to play alongside. It's kind of ridiculous who he's been stuck with the past 2 seasons. Provide my man with a little bit of support. Surprisingly, 2 lucrative 7th round picks aren't going to be enough here. Maybe 7th round picks don't have as much value as they used to. I'll throw in a 3rd round pick and we'll get this deal done. So Jake Neighbors, you're going to be the first player I'm trading for in NHL 26. I think we're off to a great start. So with our next deal, we're moving a bit of money out, but we're bringing some money in. Tower Bertuzzi, I expected way more from you when you joined the Chicago Blackhawks, but it just hasn't worked out. So I'm going to ship you out along with a 2nd round pick. We're bringing in Capo Kakko. He's only 24 years old. Bro still has lots of potential. We're also going to bring in Tolvanen. He's 26 years old. 3.4 million is going to help us reach the salary cap floor, but he could play in some top 6 minutes for me, and maybe if we give him a chance, he's going to develop and turn into like an 86 overall. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but I guess we're going to find out. Now, when it comes to preseason focuses, I don't really think any of this has changed here. I think all of this is the exact same. Maybe I'm wrong, but like usual, I think we got to go with 5-on-5 focus. We just have to balance 5-on-5 focus with conditioning, because every time we do 5-on-5 focus, we're going to get a little bit slower. However, if we tie that in with conditioning, it's basically going to keep our speed at the exact same. Our offensive and defensive awareness is always going to be going up, and those are the most important ratings, or at least that's what they were in NHL 25. Things could be different here in NHL 26. Also, Connor Bedard is going to be accepting his contract extension. That's something you love to see. So here's what we're going to be looking at for season number 1. It's going to be Bedard, Frank Nazar, and Jake Neighbors on the top line. Ideally, we can eventually bring in a playmaker for these guys, because right now there's a lack of playmakers on this team. Capo Caco, Ryan Donato, Tolvanen, they're going to hold down the second line. Burakovsky, Lucas Reichel, and Mikheyev are going to hold down the third line. The bottom 6 isn't looking terrible here, but it certainly could look a lot better. When it comes to the defense, I think these are the lines we're going to run. +1 line chemistry across the board. That's a great sign for us. And when it comes to goaltending, Spencer Knight, I'm not going to commit $7 million to you right now, but if you prove me wrong this season, I'll definitely bring you back at that price. I mean, more than likely, I'm not bringing you back at that price. Like, $7 million for you is kind of wild. But while we officially simulate season number 1 of NHL 26, if you haven't already, of course, hit the subscribe button down below. There's going to be a lot of NHL 26 content coming out in the next couple days, and you definitely don't want to miss any of that. So hit the button down below and drop a like for the first video of NHL 26. Let's get 3,000 likes on today's video. Also, shout out to Wyatt Kaiser for accepting his qualifying offer. Now, even with the great trades I made, we can't really expect the Chicago Blackhawks to completely turn around in one season. 22nd in the entire league is a good step in the right direction, though. A 30-28-4 record, 2.97 goals per game, so we need the offense to be better, but we also need the defense to be better. Truthfully, year number 1 is just a rebuilding year. We have to let the young guys develop. We have to let Connor Bedard develop. We have to let Ryan Donato develop. We're getting offered a trade. I don't want Michael Matheson. We're not doing that. Michael Matheson is the ops. If you know, you know. Ryan Donato, 47 points so far. Capo Caco, 42. Jake Neighbors, 41. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to have to get used to the X Factors. The X Factors right now are throwing me off. Like, I'm looking at these X Factors and I just have no clue what they are. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the logos are the same. Quick release, ankle breaker, backhand beauty. But when I'm seeing the different colors and all that, it's throwing me off. I'm used to NHL 25 stuff. We got something new here. Look, we got Capo Caco's unstoppable specialist ability. What is that going to do for me? I have no clue, but we're slowly going to learn here. Now, clearly, this team's not competing for a Stanley Cup right now. Like, we're not going to be buying players. However, I am interested in selling if anyone wants some of our pieces. Now, of course, the pieces I'm going to be selling are some of our older players. I'm not going to be selling guys like Kevin Korchinski, Lev Shinov, Frondell, Connor Bedard. I'm not selling those guys. But Ryan Donato, we could do something like that. Granted, he is 29 years old, like he's not overly old yet, but if we could get a good young defenseman for him, I might be interested in making that move. Now, making trades with the Blackhawks right now is actually a little bit difficult since we're so close to the salary cap floor. So Andre Burakovsky, I'm going to have to trade you away along with one of our young guys, but we're going to bring in 2 decent players here. Seamus Casey, you're only 22 years old. You're probably going to end up playing second pairing minutes for me right now because we really don't have too much. Dawson Mercer, you're also going to be brought in, and truthfully, I'm only bringing you in just because you're going to help us reach the salary cap floor. We need your $4 million. That is the lone reason why I'm bringing Dawson Mercer to the team. As we all know, Dawson Mercer is the ops. Now, we're going to keep on trying to build for the future, and I think one of our future defensemen can be Jordan Spence, 82 overall. We're bringing Nick Jensen to the team just so we can reach the cap floor. It's going to be Connor Murphy, a 6th and 7th rounder. What are we talking about here? We got to throw at least a 3rd round pick into this deal. But we don't really have a 3rd round pick we can work with, so how about we just do a 2nd rounder? So it's going to be Connor Murphy in a 2nd. This seems like a little bit much for Jordan Spence, but you know what? We got to get the deal done. Also, I don't know why they keep offering me trades for Frondell. I am not trading Frondell. What are we doing here? So after finishing up with the trade deadline, we got some more extensions to hand out. Kevin Korchinski is going to be getting one of them, but since this is a 5-year rebuild, we might as well lock him down for the next 4 so we can keep him around. So $5.9 million for the next 4 seasons. Kevin Korchinski, you're going to be sticking around with the team. Jordan Spence, you're going to be looking for a shorter term deal, but we can certainly make it happen. $2.75 for the next 2 seasons. Tolvanen, I can see you're not really interested in a contract extension, but I would like to keep you on this team, and I think 4.5 for the next 2 years wouldn't be a terrible deal. Can we actually do 4.3? 4.3 for the next 2 is not bad. So we're going to keep Tolvanen around. Dickinson, Jensen, Mikheyev, all of you guys are going to be walking. Nick Foligno, you're going to be walking as well. Lucas Reichel, as a bottom 6 player for me, you're actually not too bad. $5 million. How many points do you have right now? This man is wilding right now. He has 10 goals and 12 assists, and he just asked me for $5 million. Who do you think you are? Seamus Casey, how much do you want? You want 1.5. Yeah, let's lock you down for the next 4 years. I'll do 2.2 million for the next 4. That is is significantly more reasonable than what Lukas Reichel just asked for. That man is out of his mind. I might not even qualify him as an RFA now. Lukas Reichel, you can just leave this team. Bro is acting up right now. I have no clue what he's yapping about. Wyatt Kaiser, here's 1.2 million, I guess. You can play some third pairing minutes for me next season. And then when it comes to everyone else, we're probably just going to be looking at two-way contracts, or at least that's what I'm hoping we're looking at. But I guess there is one other player we have to look at, and that's going to be Spencer Knight. How much money is he going to be looking for now? 6.8 on a one-year deal. I don't want to do this. If we're going to be locking him down, I want to do multiple years, but if he's not willing to budge, I'll qualify you as an RFA and trade you away. I'm not afraid to do so. So after making all those incredible trades and those great re-signings, let's absolutely tank here and get the first overall pick. Now, Tolvanen's not going to be accepting his contract offer, so I think we'll just worry about that one later. When we get to the re-sign phase, we'll find a way to bring him back. Now, it's no surprise to finish out the season, the Chicago Blackhawks were not a good team. We were actually worse than we were in the first half of the season. 27th in the entire league, a 37-40-5 record. We're not really good at anything here, but that's perfectly fine because we're building for the future. Connor Bedard's up to a 93 overall. Only 69 points this season is definitely disappointing, but after the moves we make over the offseason, this team's going to be incredible. Ryan Donato, 58 points. Kaapo Kakko, 52. Tolvanen's picking up 49. Jake Neighbors, 49. It was a great season from him, a positive plus minus. Meanwhile, Spencer Knight, how are you commanding $7 million when you only had 21 wins, 4 shouts, a 902, and a 334? You are absolutely bugging. Why would I give you that? Meanwhile, when it comes to our first ever Stanley Cup final in NHL 26, the Edmonton Oilers are going to lose to the Columbus Blue Jackets in 7 games. The Nashville Predators are making the conference finals. The Calgary Flames and Seattle Kraken are both going to be making the postseason. Toronto's going to be sweeping the Washington Capitals but losing to Columbus in the second round in 7 games. Florida's going to lose in the second round to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Detroit Red Wings are making the playoffs, and no surprise whatsoever, the Buffalo Sabres didn't make the playoffs, but we all knew that was going to happen. There were certainly some surprises here, but Buffalo not making the playoffs, that's certainly not really a surprise. Also, it's kind of wild that in the first video of NHL 26, the Buffalo Sabres are going to be catching a stray. They kind of deserve it though. Also, when it comes to the draft lottery, are we really surprised at this? In the first video, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who were projected to get the first overall pick, are going to drop from 1 to 3, and then the Chicago Blackhawks are going to drop from 6 to 7. Some things never change. Now, I really don't know who the top players available are going to be. I'm not sure if there's going to be a franchise potential player, but it looks like there is. Dalton Wheeler, medium franchise potential, but he's a defensive defenseman. Having medium franchise potential and being a defensive defenseman, that's not necessarily the greatest in the world. I'm really hoping Belchez drops to the 7th overall pick because he's the guy I would want to select here. If not, we're going to be walking away with a medium top 6 potential player, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'd rather have a mediumly potential player. So we're going to simulate up to the 7th overall pick. Belchez isn't going to be dropping, so I think we're only going to get medium top 6, and it appears that's going to be the case. Adam Bennak, welcome to the team. You're going to be selected 7th overall by the Chicago Blackhawks, starting off as a 67 overall. That's not too bad. Now, I'm going to be honest, I am not familiar with basically 90% of these players right here, so I have no clue who the elite prospects are or any of that. So with all that being said, I'm going to go with this player right here because he might have medium elite potential. I can almost guarantee he doesn't. Medium top 6. It was worth a swing. I will say there is certainly one thing breaking my heart right now, and that's the fact that I haven't seen anyone with low franchise potential yet. Bring back NHL 25 legend Zachary Morin. Just give some random player in this game low franchise potential for no reason. Now, we might finally be looking at our first elite potential player. Are we going to get a low elite potential goaltender? Yes, we are. Starting off as a 59 overall. If you want to play some minutes for me, you're going to have to develop pretty quick, but starting off as a 59 overall really isn't too bad. Now, right now we have $40 million to work with, so we have enough money to bring back anyone we want to bring back, and that includes Tolvanen. He's looking for $6.6 million. I feel like that's a little bit much, but what if we give you a modified no trade or something? Like, I could do 50% team protection, and we might be able to get that down to like $5.7 million. I'll do 5.7 for the next 4 years, 50% team protection. Is that going to be enough to keep Tolvanen on this team? I hope so. Meanwhile, Lukas Reichel, unless you're willing to accept something reasonable here, I'm probably going to let you walk, and I kind of want to let you walk because at one point you were asking for $5 million, and I haven't gotten over that. So I think we're actually just going to qualify you as an RFA here and figure out what we're going to do with you. Nick Foligno's going to walk, Dickinson, Jensen, Mikheyev, Sam Lafferty, all these guys are going to be walking. And then when it comes to all these youngins right here, we'll sign them to 2-way contracts. Before we do that though, Spencer Knight, how much are you looking for right now? Are you being reasonable? Yes, you are. 2.7 for 1 season. We could do 2 years at $3 million. I'll do 3.3 for the next 2 seasons. That's actually less than what your qualifying offer would be, so I'm surprised that you're only asking for like $2 million on a 1-year deal, but we'll do 3.3 for the next 2. So Spencer Knight, I guess you're going to be sticking around. Now, I think it's safe to say the Jake Neighbors trade is slowly working out for us because he's already up to an 87 overall and he's going to be a stud. But $9 million for Jake Neighbors, I don't know about that one. You're an 87 overall, you had 18 goals and 31 assists last season. I guess if I keep you on the top line and give you guys a playmaker, you actually might be pretty solid. So Jake Neighbors, I will entertain this $9 million. However, I still think you're wilding here, so how about I give you a modified no trade as well? I'll do 50% team protection in that final season. Let's try to get this down to $8 million. $8 million for the next 3 seasons. We got lots of money, so Jake Neighbors, you can have it. When it comes to Levshunov, I'm almost ready to give bro a blank check, but I'll definitely take $5.7 million. Let's actually do 5.5 for the next 3 seasons. Dawson Mercer, you're likely going to walk. Oliver Moore, I'll actually keep you back at a reasonable price. You want 2.6 for the next 2 years? How about we make that a 3-year deal and do 2.7? You can be my third line centerman. And for right now, I think that's really all we have to worry about. Now, we still have $31 million to work with. So who are the top free agents available? We already know who I'm looking at here. Is he going to be available? It doesn't look like it. I was looking for Connor McDavid. Granted, Kaprizov wouldn't be terrible. Kaprizov would be a really nice addition to the team. I wouldn't mind going with him. Marty Necas is also available, and he would actually fit exactly what we need here. He's only 27 years old. $13 million is a bit much, but he would be a great playmaker on the top line. We would have Marty Necas, Connor Bedard, and Jake Neighbors. I like that deal. So Marty Necas, I'm going to throw you an absolute bag. Like, I am going to overpay to make sure you join this team. $14.5 million for the next 7 seasons. Marty Necas, you better be joining this team. Like, I'm going to pass up on Kirill Kaprizov. I could actually go and get him as well, though. We could find the money for Kirill Kaprizov. Do I do that? Do I just throw a bag at Kaprizov and try to bring him to the team as well? You know what? We vibe. This is rebuild number 1 of NHL 26. We're throwing bags. Kirill Kaprizov, here's $17 million. Now, before we do anything, maybe we should make some trades just so we free up a little bit of cap space. Because based on the way things are going, Tolvanen, you're going to play second line minutes for me. Jake Neighbors, you're going to play second line minutes for me. And Frank Nazar is going to play second line minutes for me. That is a lot of money tied into 3 players. So Tolvanen, maybe I actually just trade you away. Or I hold on to you and trade Ryan Donato away. Because we actually might not need Donato anymore. I think that's what we're going to do. Ryan Donato, I'm going to trade you away. We're going to try to bring in another elite defenseman. So I think this is what the trade's going to be. And it's actually not really going to free up any cap space for us. We're actually going to be taking money on. But Ryan Donato straight up for Bo Byram. This is an amazing deal. We get a defenseman we desperately need. But now that we've brought another defenseman to the team, we probably should trade one. And which one am I looking at? Alex Vlasic, you might have to be moved here. Like, you're getting paid $4.9 million. We're going to have a lot of money tied to our top guys. I think you're the one that has to be traded away. So here's what we're going to do with Alex Vlasic. We're going 1-for-1 for Nikishin. He's likely going to play some third pairing minutes for me. We definitely could get a couple draft picks back, but I think going 1-for-1 just makes the most sense here. So with the money that we freed up, can we somehow walk away with Kirill Kaprizov, and can we somehow walk away with Marty Necas? The only question I have is with the Levshunov contract kicking in and the Jake Neighbors contract kicking in, can we still afford Marty Necas? Yes, we can. He's going to be joining the team. Kirill Kaprizov's going to be joining the Pittsburgh Penguins instead. Honestly, that's not the end of the world. Marty Necas is the main player we want to get over the offseason, and we secured him. So our top line is going to look something like this. Connor Bedard, Marty Necas, and Jake Neighbors on the top line. Then we're going to have Tolvanen, Frank Nazar, and Capo Caco on the second line. That's not too bad. Or do I want Capo Caco playing third line minutes for me, and then we bring in a second line playmaker? That could be the move. And when I say that could be the move, I mean that is the move, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, this is going to be one of the last trades we make because we might make one more. I haven't really decided yet. Lucas Reichel, Renzel, and 2 third-round picks over to the Rangers. Lafreniere, I'm expecting big things from you. You're an 85 overall. I need you to perform for me. I'm not expecting you to be a superstar, but you need to be an elite second-line player for me. Can you live up to the hype? We're going to find out pretty quick. So here's what the final trade's going to look like. Spencer Knight, I don't have 100% faith in you quite yet. So I'm going to bring in your replacement if I need to replace you. Soderblom and a second round pick for Askarov. This is a no-brainer for us. So we have our goaltending tandem. I think we have a decent enough young defense here. Like, the defense isn't good enough yet. Like, don't get me wrong. This defense is not going to be winning us a Stanley Cup this season. However, all of these guys are incredibly young. 22, 25, 22, 24, 20, 25. If we're not able to win this season, season. All of them are going to develop. They'll be even better for the following year. That's basically the same thing with the forward core. Like, we have a really young team here. We just got to give these guys a little bit of time. However, you can't take too long because we have to win a Stanley Cup over the next 4 years. Also, I guess it wouldn't hurt if we re-sign Bo Byram because he's going to need an extension. So here's 5.3 for the next 4. And while we're at it, Askarov, I know you need an extension, but how much money are you going to be looking for? You want 6.6 million? We're going to hold off for a little bit with that one. Now, moving into season number 2, the top 6 is looking way better. Connor Bedard, Marty Necas, Jake Neighbors, Tolvanen, Frank Nazard, Lafreniere. The bottom 6 might be a little bit weaker. I don't think so, though. Like, our third line is certainly better. Frondell's going to be jumping into the lineup, and he's going to develop for us. Medium league potential. He'll be up to an 85 pretty quick. When it comes to the defense, we're not going to have the same line chemistry boost, but overall-wise, we're better across the board. We have way more depth. And then when it comes to goaltending, Askarof's up to an 86. Spencer Knight's an 85. We have a tandem we can rock here, and I fully expect this team to make the playoffs. Now, I had high expectations for this team. I was fully expecting we were going to make the playoffs. We are not a good team whatsoever. 21st in the entire league, a 29-30-5 record. We got to lock in here. The offense is better this season, but the defense is significantly worse. I think we have the worst defense in the NHL. Yes, we do. Okay, we have to fix that. The defense is being fixed next season, and how are we going to do that? We're bringing in a better coach, because truthfully, this team right here should be a lot better than that. I think we have a great team here. We have a lot of great pieces that we can work with. I think it's our coach holding us back. I've seen it time and time again. You can have an elite team, but if you don't have the right coach, you will not see success whatsoever. I have had 20-win teams turn into 50-win teams the following year after only changing the coach. It also doesn't help. Spencer Knight has an 879 and a 415 right now. Bro, stop the puck once in a while. Like, you are not showing up for me whatsoever. You are looking terrible. I don't think we're really going to do anything here at the trade deadline. I don't think we're going to sell any pieces because I don't even know who we would sell here. This team has potential. We're building on potential right now. The young guys are still developing. If we're going to be a bad team, though, be bad enough where we get a top 5 pick, not bad enough where we get the 11th overall. No, I can guarantee you next season is going to be our year. The Chicago Blackhawks 27th in the entire league. We should have been better than this season. Our defense was absolutely horrid, though. That's going to be fixed next season. We're fixing the defense, and we're fixing all of this through getting a new coach. New coach, new associate coach, new head coach. It doesn't matter. If you are a coach on the Chicago Blackhawks, you are already fired. I'm not bringing you back to the team, because even when it comes to the offense for us, Connor Bedard should have more than 42 goals. Necas should have more than 73 points. This is ridiculous. Our second line wasn't terrible. Like, don't get me wrong. The second line wasn't awful here, but a lot of these guys should be better. Like Capo Caco, why are you minus 20? Kim Korchinski, why are you minus 18? You have to be better than that. Askarov's picking up 29 wins, one shot, a 905 and a 321. You're clearly our starting goaltender for the future. Spencer Knight's going to be traded away. I'm not going to bother paying this man $3 million to be my backup. We're not doing that. When it comes to our Stanley Cup champions, this one's going to be a bit more realistic. We're going to see the Colorado Avalanche taking down the New Jersey Devils in 7 games. We got to lock in, though. We got 3 seasons left in the rebuild. Chicago's yet to make the playoffs. This can't happen again. However, I do know if we fire our entire coaching staff, that's going to make a big difference. Now, when it comes to the draft lottery, surprisingly, the LA Kings are actually going to be sticking at the 1st overall. Meanwhile, the Chicago Blackhawks, they're going to drop from 6 to 7. That's not a surprise at all. Now, entering the 2027 draft, I'm a little bit disappointed that Land Dupont's only a 74 overall. Like, make this man at least an 80 overall. He should be an 80 overall with medium franchise potential. Meanwhile, the guy going 2nd overall, he's going to be an 83 overall. All right, I was not expecting that. I have no clue if this is an auto-generated player or not. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I'm going to find out pretty quick. But when it comes to the 7th overall pick for the Chicago Blackhawks, Jackson Jacobson, welcome to the team. That's going to be the easy selection here, an 83 overall to start off with. I don't know if you're going to develop in time for us, so we might be trading you away sooner than later. But it looks like Jackson Jacobson's not going to be the only elite potential player we're getting here, because we're also getting a low elite potential player in the 2nd round, starting off as a 65 overall. Now, we have $17 million to work with, so when it comes to handing out extensions, we don't have to worry about that, especially since we don't have to spend a lot of money right now. The one man we do have to spend money on, Askarov. And how much is he going to be asking for? Well, he's only going to be looking for about 7.9 million, so we can lock him down for 7.5 for the next 4 years. He's our starting goaltender. We're not debating that. Now, when it comes to the rest of the money we have, Dawson Mercer, I think I'm just going to qualify you as an RFA. I actually probably won't even do that because his qualifying offer is $4 million. But for $2.8 million to play bottom 6 men's for me, I don't hate that deal. So Dawson Mercer, you actually will return to the team. Wyatt Kaiser, you might play on the 3rd pairing for me this season. I'm not 100% sure, but here's $800K for 1 season. And then with everyone else, it's going to be 2-way contracts or really cheap contracts. Now, right now, there's one thing we don't have to worry about, and that's giving out big extensions, because we already have a lot of the key pieces is signed. Capo Caco, you're one guy I wouldn't mind to keep around for the bottom 6, but I don't know if I want to commit $4.6 million to you, so I think we're just going to ride out your contract. Jordan Spence, you're another guy that we could afford to lose here, but 2.8 for a third pairing defenseman is really not too bad, so here's 2.8 for next season. When it comes to everyone else, we're not worried about extensions quite yet, but we are worried about making one big move in free agency. So if we want to make a big splash in free agency here, who would it be? Tara Vinen, I don't really want to go with you. Brandon Carlo would be an amazing player to bring to the team, but I don't think we quite need him. If we were going to bring in anybody, I think we just need somebody for the bottom 6, and who's going to be available? Siplikov wouldn't be a bad pickup, but not for $4.8 million. Tarasenko wouldn't be bad, but he's 35 years old. He's probably going to age out pretty quick. Evan Rodriguez would actually be interesting, and I think that's who we're going to go with. So we'll do $3.1 million for one season. Evan Rodriguez, welcome to the team. You're going to help us a lot. Now, I think this is the move that's going to put us over the top. Capo Caco, Jordan Spence. I was talking about extending both of you guys, and I did actually extend Jordan Spence. However, I've changed my mind because we're going to package all of this up to get Caden Gooley, and I think we actually might be able to get a third round pick back in this deal. So it's going to be Capo Caco, Jordan Spence, and a second round pick. Caden Gooley and a third round pick is going to be acquired. Caden Gooley is going to be a big time defenseman, 5.5 for the next 4 years. That's a very reasonable contract. Unfortunately, this package isn't quite enough, so here's a fourth round pick as well. Hopefully this is going to be enough to get it done, and it looks like it is. So our defense is set. I think we need one more good forward here, and then we're going to be ready to make the playoffs and go on a deep run. And I think that final move is going to have us bringing in Warren Fogle, 4.4 for the next 2 seasons. I need you to play some bottom 6 minutes for me. I'm not sure if you're going to be willing to accept that pay cut, but if you are, you're going to be a huge help. Now, it's playoffs or bust for this team. Connor Bedard, Marty Necas, Jake Neighbors, I'm expecting big things from you guys. Tolvanen, Oliver Moore, Lafreniere, I need you to have a big season. We have an entirely new coaching staff. Everything about our coaching staff is brand new. New head coach, new associate coach, new assistant coach. Everything is new here. The defense is looking way better. The only thing we're missing right now is a true superstar defenseman, but I think these 4 guys can hold it down for me. And then when it comes to goaltending, Spencer Knight, you're not the number 1 here. Truthfully, I should trade you away. Ashcroft, you're up to an 88 overall. I need you to take the next step this season. I need you to carry the way. We haven't seen a lot of success so far. I was hoping for the playoffs last season. Clearly that didn't happen, but we're going to see more success here, or at least I'm hoping we can. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks are certainly looking better this season, but we should be higher in the standings than this. We're 10th with a 35-24-3 record. Now, we would be higher in the standings if we didn't go on an 8-game slide a week ago. This team had lost 8 games in a row a week ago. If we didn't lose those 8 games in a row, we would definitely be looking at top 5 in the NHL, because when you look at our offense, we have one of the best offenses in the league. When you look at our defense, which has been a big problem for a long time now, we have the 5th best defense in the league right now. So the offense is looking good, defense is looking good. Connor Bedard's got 68 points. He's flying right now. Marty Necas, 61. He's looking pretty solid. Tolvanen, Oliver Moore, Lafreniere, all of them are looking great. Jake Neighbors, I'm on the fence about trading you. Like, you're an 85 overall. You're not looking terrible here, but I feel like we need to get an upgrade for our first line. I feel like our first line isn't good enough. Connor Bedard and Marty Necas need another elite piece at their side. We need another true goal scorer here. Jake Neighbors, I just don't think you're that guy. When it comes to goaltending, Ashcroft, 24 wins, 4 shots, a 912 and a 266. You've been looking great so far. Spencer Knight hasn't looked too bad, but we got to change something with this team. We need to spark a little bit more offense, so let's go make a big time trade. And in order to bring in a superstar sniper, Jackson Jacobson, we might have to trade you away here, but that honestly might be the best thing for us. Now, I feel like this would be the most logical trade for us. Jake Neighbors in a first round pick, and we get Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson would be incredible for us. He'll probably have to play out of position. Instead of his secondary position being right wing, his secondary position is going to be left wing. We're going to play him on the left side. Connor Bedard, Tage Thompson, Marty Necas, that's an elite first line, and that team's going to win you a lot of games. Jake Neighbors in a first round pick isn't quite enough, but maybe if we do a 3-team trade, this would be a lot easier. Now, here's the 3-team trade I'm thinking about here. It's going to be a first rounder, a 5th, and 6th rounder sent over to the Philadelphia Flyers. We're going to bring in Jamie Drysdale. Jamie Drysdale is then going to be flipped over to the Buffalo Sabres along with Jake Neighbors, and we're going to bring in Tage Thompson. He's going to be the difference maker for us. He's going to improve our first line a ton. Once we bring Tage Thompson to the team, I don't know who's going to be able to stop us. So here's what the trade's looking like. Jamie Drysdale and Jake Neighbors sent over to Buffalo. Tage Thompson and Jason Zucker. The only reason we're taking on Jason Zucker's contract is so we can make these contracts work. Is this going to be enough? They're saying no. We can throw some more picks in this deal if I have to. Like, I don't have a ton of picks for the next 2 years. Like, I'm basically trading everything away. But you already know I'm always willing to trade my picks away, especially if we're going to be able to win a Stanley Cup. Hopefully, all of these assets are going to be enough in order to get this one done, but they're saying no. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board here. Jackson Jacobson, I'm going to send you over to Calgary. We're getting Zane Prek, 1-for-1. Unfortunately, that's not enough because they want the lucrative 7th-round pick. We're then going to flip Zane Prek along with Jake Neighbors, because when I tried to flip Jamie Drysdale along with Jake Neighbors, there was way too much money being involved in that trade, and it was going to be impossible to get done. However, Zane Prek still in his entry-level contract, he's going to be an easy enough deal to trade away. I'll throw Jake Neighbors in as well. This deal is 100% going to be accepted by Buffalo. They just need to send a player our way. And who's that player going to be? Well, how about the guy you selected in the first round in 2025? I think this is a great deal for us. They're going to be rejecting it because you have to put Nick Leddy on waivers, and that would just be too costly. You're telling me in the year 2027, because I think we're in 2027 right now, you're not willing to trade Nick Leddy. You are not willing to trade Nick Leddy, 36-year-old Nick Leddy. Just give me Nick Leddy then. Now you don't have to put him on waivers. I have never seen that. I have seen them say, oh, I don't want to put so-and-so on waivers, but so-and-so is actually a good player. Nick Leddy in the big 2027. Nah, that's wild. Actually, it's 2028. We're in the 2028 season right now, and they didn't want to put Nick Leddy on waivers. That is crazy. Also, we still have Jamie Drysdale, and I'm actually looking to trade Jamie Drysdale here, so we actually might get another upgrade to the forward core. So how about we go find ourselves another sniper, because I'm not against having multiple snipers here. So this is going to be the final move we make, because we need another sniper, and Jake DeBrusk is having an incredible season. He's taking lots of shots. Jamie Drysdale sent over to Vancouver. Jake DeBrusk and a 4th-round pick is going to be acquired. I think we're set now. We have enough goal scorers here. We brought in what we needed. Jake DeBrusk, 25 goals so far. Tage Thompson, 25 goals so far. That's a lot of scoring that we didn't have before, but now that we have these guys, we're ready to take over. Okay, respectfully, y'all gotta tee up right now. No more losing. I don't know why we're losing as many games as we are. Like, at this rate, we're not gonna make the playoffs. This team at one point was like 30-18, and things have not gone our way since. We've just been losing game after game after game after game, and there is no reason why we should be going on a slide like this. I think we'll still be able to make the postseason, but it's gonna be pretty close. We've won back-to-back games. We have 39 wins right now. We're dropping another one in a shootout. The only good thing about losing these shootout games is we're at least getting points, but it's going to be way too close down the stretch here. I do believe we are going to sneak into the postseason. Maybe not. Like, we are barely above 500 right now. This team is letting me down big time. We have to beat St. Louis, and you know what? We don't have to worry anymore. We're in the postseason. But why'd we make this so complicated? Like, I don't know what happened, but after the 7-1 victory against Seattle, loss, we won here, lost, won here. We actually ended up winning back-to-back games. Then after the trade deadline, 4 losses in a row, a win, lost here, won here, another 4 losses in a row here. Like, I have no clue what happened, but after that one Seattle game that we won, things just completely flipped for us. Like, the Chicago Blackhawks should have been a top 10 team. For some reason, we weren't a top 10 team. Like, I feel like this is the most surprising thing. So we actually ended up having a really good defense. Like, we had a top 8 defense in the NHL. So we must have had a really bad offense, and that's why we were let down. Nope, we had the 4th best offense. The 4th best offense, the 8th best defense, but we were 13th in the entire league. This team should have won more. Based on those numbers alone, this team should have seen more success. Connor Bedard, 98 points, including 56 goals. Murray Natchez, 81. Jake DeBrusk, 30 goals this season. So he picked up 5 goals after we acquired him. I was expecting a little more, but hey, bro was almost a point a game. I'll certainly take that. Tage Thompson, 35 goals. So I think he picked up 10 goals after we acquired him. That's exactly what we needed. We needed more goal scoring, and that's what Tage Thompson brought to the team. We're looking really hot right now. The team's looking amazing. Ascroft's posting great numbers, but now we're in the postseason. This is a different game for Connor Bedard. He's never made it to the postseason until this moment right here, and he has to go against Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. This is going to be a great matchup. So it's our first postseason of NHL 26. Connor Bedard, what are you going to do? Are you going to go on a deep run, or are you going to completely fold? Well, we're dropping game number 1, but responding in game 2, a big 10-2 victory. Game 3 is going to be an important one. We're winning that one as well. Are we going to beat the Edmonton Oilers? Well, with the way the offense is looking right now, I don't know who's going to be able to stop us, because we are scoring goal after goal after goal, and that's going to continue. We're taking down the Edmonton Oilers Oilers moving into the second round. Chicago's on to something here. Like, we have to remember, Edmonton would have won their division because we were a wild card team, so we beat one of the best teams in the NHL. We're moving on to the second round. We're going to take on the Vegas Golden Knights, but if we can beat Edmonton, I fully believe that we can beat Vegas, especially if we keep on scoring goals. We're going to be dropping game 1 and game 2. That's not a great sign. Luckily, we're going to be responding in game 3, but can we win game 4? Doesn't look like it. We have game 5 elimination coming up. We can't go out like this. The Chicago Blackhawks can't go out like this. Like, we need to get a Stanley Cup. The Vegas Golden Knights are picking up 3 goals in the first period. Moving into the second, they're picking up another. Tolvanen's picking up a goal for us, but I'm not sure if we can make this comeback in the third period, and it doesn't look like it. We're going to be dropping this game 4-1. But you know what? At least we made the postseason. For the first time in this video, we're making the postseason. We took down the Edmonton Oilers. We have 2 years left after this one. I know for a fact we're going to build on this momentum. So to finish out the postseason, we're going to see the Washington Capitals win the Stanley Cup. They're taking down the Colorado Avalanche. I'm curious to see what the scoring looked like from Chicago. Oh, the boys were lighting the lamp. Marty Necas, 15 points. Oliver Moore, 14 points. Connor Bedard, 13. But this shouldn't surprise me. We saw what this team's scoring was like in the first round. However, a goaltending I think is going to be a bit scary. A 903 and a 312 actually isn't too bad. I thought these numbers were going to be way worse from Ashcroft. I can certainly live with a 903 and a 312. I mean, it's not ideal. Like, I'd like significantly better numbers in the postseason, but considering how many goals we were scoring and the fact that we ended up losing in the second round, I was thinking he was going to have a goals against closer to 4. We got 2 years left for the Chicago Blackhawks. The final season is going to be in 2030. A 2030 Stanley Cup for the Chicago Blackhawks sounds pretty good. Now, we only have 1 draft pick, and it's our first round pick. We're going to be selecting a 64 overall with medium top 9 potential, so it's a pretty forgettable draft for us. So we have $7.5 million, but I don't want to spend too much money here in case we have to hand out some extensions. Evan Rodriguez, how much are you looking for when it comes to re-signing? We could probably do $2.9 million. However, you are 34 years old, and I'm scared you're going to regress, so I think we're going to pass on you. Wyatt Kaiser, let's do a 2-way contract. Like, I don't know why I keep giving you 1-way contracts. Like, you're not playing third pairing minutes for me. Here's a 2-way contract at $950K. Colton Dach, I'm just going to qualify you as an RFA. I'm probably going to qualify almost all these guys as RFAs. And then when it comes to Spencer Knight, because he's going to be the lone player leaving the team here, you're not the starting goaltender anymore, so I'm just going to let you walk. Granted, if I re-sign you, we could do a sign and trade. Or do I just keep you on this team for $3 million? $3 million for a backup goaltender is a little bit expensive, but he's an 86 overall, so Spencer Knight, welcome back. Never mind, I guess we're going to be saying bye to Spencer Knight. He wants to test free agency. Now, before we head into these final 2 seasons, we better make sure that we have the important pieces re-signed. One of those important pieces is certainly Frondell. He wants $5.4 million. We actually might be able to keep everybody around. So Frondell, I'll do 5.2 for next season. We should have enough money for Nikishin, barring how much money he's looking for. Okay, that certainly didn't get addressed. 83 overalls and all of them, looking for way too much money. You're playing third pairing minutes. I'm not giving you 5.7 million. Warren Fogle, how much do you want? 4.6. I think we're just going to ride out both of these contracts. But honestly, that might not be the end of the world because we do have a handful of young guys that could jump in next season. So we could probably find replacements for all these players. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't think we're actually going to do anything over the offseason. We're just going to run it back with the exact same team. There's a lot of young players that should be better next season. We're going to have Jake DeBrusk for the entire year. We're going to have Tage Thompson for the entire year. We basically have our main core here, and I don't want to get rid of any of the core players. Now, I think the boys have a chip on their shoulder this season. Connor Bedard, Marty Necas, Tolvanen, Lafreniere, Tage Thompson, Jake DeBrusk, they all know what it's going to take to win this season. We are going to be loading up the top 6. The bottom 6 is still looking really good. Don't question them whatsoever. They're going to hold up their end of the bargain. The defense is still lacking a superstar, but you know what? We have a lot of great players that are going to play their role. And then when it comes to goaltending, Ashcroft, are you ever going to develop an X factor? So I'm starting to question it. You're an 88 overall with medium league potential. I'm just assuming it's never going to come. The Chicago Blackhawks have 2029 and 2030 left. They better lock in here. There's no way we don't get a Stanley Cup in the first rebuild of NHL 26. All right, Chicago's flying this season. Not quite as much as the Edmonton Oilers because they're the clear number 1. But Chicago is 6th in the entire league, a 37-20-4 record. We're only 3 points back, a second in the entire league. Like, Edmonton's standing alone, but the Blackhawks are looking good. And you know who else is looking pretty solid? Connor Bedard, 97 points so far. Now we figured it out here. Connor Bedard, Marty Necas, Tolvanen, Tage Thompson, Jake DeBrusk, Lafreniere. Why do y'all have negative plus minuses? What are you doing out there? Like, seriously, why do you guys have negative plus minuses? That shouldn't be a thing. You were certainly better than that. Oliver Moore is -2. You know what? We're not going to question it. We're not going to worry about it. This team's winning games. That's all that matters. Ashcroft, 29 wins, 1 shot, a 908 and a 287. The second line has me a little bit concerned. Do not get me wrong here. I feel like we should be better than than this. Tage Thompson, 49 points isn't bad, including 23 goals. Jake DeBrusk, you're not looking bad either. Why do I feel like Lafreniere is the lone man out here? Like, if I were to trade anyone away from the second line, it has to be Lafreniere. Granted, he's an 88 overall. Jake DeBrusk is an 86. Tage Thompson's a 90. I don't think I can trade any of those guys. I think we have to hold on to everyone here. I don't think we make any trades. Right now, we're only 3 points back a second in the entire league. We're one of the best right now, and I don't want to change anything, so let's just rock this team. Now, to finish out the season, Chicago was on a different level. Second in the entire league, a 54-23-5 record. They figured it out. It has taken till 2029, but we figured it out here. The offense is flying. The defense is elite. Nothing can stop us. Connor Bedard, 131 points, 75 goals. That's what Bedard's up to this season. Marty Necas, 95 assists, 111 points. Tolvanen's picking up 87 points. Tage Thompson's got 63. We're ignoring the negative plus minus. Same with Jake DeBrusk. Same with Lafreniere. None of that matters. Second in the entire league. The boys are flying. Ascroft's got 41 wins, 2 shouts, a 907 and a 283. We have 2 more chances to win a Stanley Cup. We have this one right here. We're starting off against the Colorado Avalanche. This is the best season we've seen yet. We're hoping to build on the momentum we saw last season. If we could take down Edmonton last season, I don't see why we can't meet them in the conference finals. Now, y'all just better not give me that NHL 25 luck, because in NHL 25, I didn't have the greatest luck when it came to simulating in the postseason. We need some new luck in NHL 26, but that's not going to be happening. We're dropping game number 1. Not a good sign. Luckily, we are going to respond in game number 2. We got to win game 3. We're going to be doing that. Let's win game 4 as well. The boys are scoring, and they're scoring 4 goals in all these victories. Let's get 4 goals in game number 5 and move on to the second round. Unfortunately, that's not happening. We're allowing 7. So the defense is slowly falling apart here, but it's going to respond. Never mind, no it isn't. We've scored 2 goals in the last 2 games. We've allowed 12 goals in those 2 games. We need to respond right here. Game 7 is the big game between the Colorado Avalanche and Chicago Blackhawks. Bo Byram's picking up the first goal. Nathan McKinnon and Landeskog are going to respond. We can't fall in the first round. Chicago, I need a big third period from you guys, and that's what we're going to get. Warren Foegele and Connor Bedard picking up goals. Landeskog's picking up 1 for Colorado, so overtime's going to settle this matchup. Who's going to be advancing to the second round? It's going to be the Chicago Blackhawks. Tage Thompson with a huge goal. We almost blew a 3-1 series lead, but instead we're going to be advancing. Now hold on, just wait a minute. Those Edmonton Oilers are falling in the first round to the Winnipeg Jets. It's our postseason to win. It is our Stanley Cup to win. We got to lock in. Like, if Edmonton's going to lose in the first round, we have to capitalize on that. Like, that was the one team I was really going to be scared about. We're winning game number 1 against Dallas. We're winning game number 2 as well. Let's just not drop back-to-back games here. Luckily, we're going to be taking a 3-1 series lead. Close it out in game number 5, and let's move on to the conference finals. Don't do this to me. Do not blow a 3-1 series lead. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that. We're moving on to the conference finals. Who do we have next? We have the Winnipeg Jets, the team that took down the Edmonton Oilers. So we know Winnipeg's legit. Like, this team is going to put up a fight, but we're winning game number 1. We're dropping game 2. Are we taking a 3-1 series lead? Yes, we are. We are 1 game away from the Stanley Cup final. Can we make it there? Yes, we can. And now we have the Tampa Bay Lightning. One team stands in front of us to stop us from winning a Stanley Cup, but they're not going to be able to stop us. So all I need is 4 more victories. 4 victories is going to bring home the Stanley Cup for the Chicago Blackhawks. Wow, that was an interesting game. 9-8 in overtime. No defense has been played, but we have a 3-1 series lead. Give me 1 more victory, and that's what we're going to get in game number 5. The Chicago Blackhawks, Stanley Cup champions. We're taking it home in 2029, but the job's not finished. We're going back to back to finish the first video off. Now, I shouldn't say the first video off. This is the first rebuild for sure, but there might have been a video uploaded before this one. If there hasn't been, it's still in the works, and trust me, it's a banger. Darnell Richmond might be returning. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, it might be out right now, and then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but if it's not out right now, all I can say is Darnell Richmond might be returning. Connor Bedard, 19 goals, 12 assists, 31 points. Marty Necas, 29. Tolvanen, 21. The second line, although they had a negative plus minus, those guys showed up for me. Tage Thompson, 8 goals. Lafreniere, 3 goals. Jake DeBrusk, 6 goals. And Frondell, 0 goals, but 13 critical assists. He's helping us big time. But no, Connor Bedard was on something. 5-game winners in the postseason. Bro was him for sure. And then Ascroft, 15 wins. Drew's going to be picking up 1 for us, a 906 and a 322. I can only assume the 1 win he got was in that 9-8 victory, because yeah, Ascroft had to have been pulled in that game. There's no way that man allowed 8 goals and we kept him in the net. So we finally won a Stanley Cup, but we still have 1 year left in the rebuild. Let's go back to back to finish this off. Now, we had 3 draft picks, but they were later round picks. Like, our first pick was the 105th overall, and we didn't get a star player there, but we don't have to worry about this. None of these guys that we just draft are going to be jumping into the lineup. We're basically just going to run it back with the exact same team, because if we can win in 2029 with this team, why can't we win in 2030? So we have $11 million, and we have a couple guys we could re-sign. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, I'm going to cheese a little bit in the final season. Warren Fogle, let's bring you back for really cheap. I will give you a no movement, 3.9 for the next 3 years. I only need you for 1 season. I don't care about the 2 seasons after that. Nikishin, I don't really know if I should be giving you this. Like, I feel like I can get a better option in free agency, and I think that's what we're going to do. You're an 84 overall. I just can't commit $6 million to you. Like, I'd rather trade my first round pick away, and then I can probably get like an 87 overall defenseman and pay him $7 million. Colton Dock, I do think I'm going to need you for the bottom 6, but only 900k. Yeah, we can definitely do that. So like usual, I'll qualify all of these RFAs, and let's get ready for the final season. Also, I guess we don't have to trade for a defenseman, because we got this guy from the Buffalo Sabres. He's an 82 overall. He's going to jump onto the 3rd pairing next season. So yeah, we don't have to make any adjustments. We're already ready to roll. Then again, we do have 8.1 million. And if we could get something for 8.1 million, I was actually about to trade for Mackenzie Weegar. But now that I realized that we don't have to do that, I'm not trading for him. But as I was about to say, we have $8.1 million to work with. Svechnikov, realistically, if I free up the money for you, would you be willing to join the team? Or do we just go with Panarin or Landeskog? Hold on now. Either of these guys would be interesting. I actually wouldn't mind Landeskog here. Landeskog to play some 3rd line minutes. I'll give you a no movement. That's what we're doing. Landeskog here is 8.1 million. We're going back to back. So we've got our first Stanley Cup of the year in NHL 26. It's coming with the Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard, Marty Necas, Tolvanen, Lafreniere, Tage Thompson, Jake DeBrusk. The team's looking great. We added Landeskog to play some 4th line minutes. Like, we're going to have 85 overall Landeskog playing 4th line minutes. There's no way this team doesn't go back to back. The defense is looking even better. Ashcroft's dropped 1 overall. Bro won a Stanley Cup and dropped 1 overall. Make it make sense here. But it's year number 5 for the Chicago Blackhawks, entering 2030. We have 1 more year to close this out. Let's finish this off with a bang. Also, I'm feeling really confident with the team. We're not even going to bother stopping at the trade deadline. We're rocking this team for the entirety of the season. Now, this might be the perfect way to finish it off. Chicago's finishing 1st in the entire league, a 55-23-4 record. We're going to be winning the President's Trophy. If we can cap this video off with a President's Trophy and back-to-back Stanley Cups, that'd be the perfect way to end it. Connor Bedard, 101 points. Barry Necas, 94. Tage Thompson, 76. Levshinov, 64. Tolvanen, 61. The boys were flying this season. Positive plus minuses across the board. Ashcroft's numbers look great. 42 wins, 6 shots, a 909 to 278. It's time for us to go get a Stanley Cup. Get Chicago's 2nd Stanley Cup of the video. I'm here for it. We're taking on the Utah Mammoth in the 1st round. Let's see what they're all about. Now, normally I'd have lots of confidence heading into the postseason, especially when winning the President's Trophy. Okay, we scored 10 goals in game number 1. We're winning this matchup. I was about to say any team can win, anyone can beat us, even Utah. Nah, we are dominating right now. 10 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals, 4 goals. We allowed 6 goals in this 4-game series. Now the boys are locked in. We're not stopping. We have all the momentum in the world. We can't stop here. We have to build on this momentum and go back to back. Let's take home back-to-back Stanley Cups. However, things might not be as simple as I'm making them seem, because we have the Colorado Avalanche in the 2nd round. Colorado is one of the best teams in the league, but we're going to be stealing game number 1 away. Can we take game 2 as well? We're going to be dropping that one. We've dropped back-to-back games. Hopefully it's not going to be 3 straight. Luckily it isn't. It was a big shutout from Ashcroft. Now we have to win game number 5. We're going to be doing that, close it out in game 6, and move on to the conference finals. Are we going to need game 7? We're going to need game 7. Game 7 between the Chicago Blackhawks and Colorado Avalanche. I'm very confident when I say whoever wins this matchup right here is going to be winning the Stanley Cup. Jake DeBrusk and Tage Thompson are picking up goals in the 1st period. Moving into the 2nd, Colorado's going to be making a comeback. They're going to be picking up 3 goals, but Tolvanen's going to be picking up 1 for Chicago, so we have a tie game entering the 3rd. I feel like Nathan MacKinnon's about to take over, and so far it doesn't look like it. Nathan MacKinnon hasn't taken over yet, so does that mean he's going to be taking over in overtime? I hope not. Tage Thompson, Connor Bedard, Marty Necas, Tolvanen. I need somebody to step up when it matters most in overtime, and who's going to be stepping up? It's Lafreniere of all players. He's picking up a power play goal. He is one guy I didn't name. I didn't expect Lafreniere to be picking up the big overtime goals, but that's what he's going to be doing. We're taking down the Colorado Avalanche, and we're moving on to the conference finals. And as I mentioned earlier, I felt whoever won this matchup was going to win the Stanley Cup, and I think that means Chicago's going to be taking home the cup, but we still have to get past the Winnipeg Jets. We're going to be exchanging the first 2 games, but we're taking a 3-1 series lead after that. Let's close out in game 5 and head back to the Stanley Cup final, and we get to take on this team, the Florida Panthers. Now, we might be in the year 2030, but that means absolutely nothing because Florida's entire team is locked down until 2030. Or maybe it's 2029. I don't really know. All I know is Florida's still an elite team if they're making it to the Stanley Cup final. So let's just take it one game at a time. We're winning game number 1. I don't know what happened in game number 2. We're winning that one as well. So we split the series with Florida. Game 5 is going to be the most important game. Can we steal this one away? Yes, we can. And can we end this video right here in game number 6? We win game 6. We went back to back, won a President's Trophy. This is the perfect way to end it. And we are capping NHL 26's first video off with an absolute bang. Chicago's going back to back. We won a President's Trophy. Everything went well here. Truthfully, I'm actually really surprised. Like, normally in my first rebuilds of the year, things do not go according to plan, but things went exactly according to plan. The Chicago Blackhawks are going to dominate. I'm going to complete the rebuild, back-to-back Stanley Cups. We won the President's Trophy. We beat some amazing teams along the way. This was nothing but success. Marty Necas 27 points, Connor Bedard 26, Tolvanen 22, Tage Thompson, Lafreniere, Kevin Korchinski. Everyone was stepping up when it mattered, including this man right here, and it was his best postseason run. Askarov, 16 wins, 1 shutout, a 926 and a 241. NHL 26 is officially here, and we're already winning Stanley Cups. We're already going back to back. This is the perfect way to start off a new year, and this is the year we hit 100K. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. We're hitting 100K before the end of the year. I'm making that claim right now.